Okay, last class continuation finally block. Okay, finally block syntaxes. Scenario 1. Directly we can write the try. నిన్న మీరు క్లాస్ రాలేదు, నిన్న క్లాస్ జరిగింది కదా, నిన్న పైథాన్ క్లాస్ జరిగింది కదా. Try statement 1, statement 2, up to so on statement n. Next one, finally, statement 1, statement 2, up to so on statement n. This is the first scenario. Try and finally. Next, third scenario. Named except block, exception class name, exception class name. Completed. Next, another scenario. Scenario 4, accept exception class name, and so on. If we interest, we can take default except block also. These combinations we are using anyway. Scenario 4. Completed. Now observing very clearly, the purpose of finally block is the statement must be executed whether exception is raised or not raised, even though exception is raised, whether it is handled or not handled. The type of statements were represented in final block. దాని మీనింగ్ ఏంటంటే ఫైనల్ బ్లాక్లో మనం ఏదైనా ఒక స్టేట్మెంట్స్ రాస్తే అది ప్రతిసారి ఎగ్జిట్ అవుతుంది. మన ప్రోగ్రామ్లో ఎక్సెప్షన్ వచ్చినా రాకపోయినా, ఒకవేళ ఎక్సెప్షన్ వస్తే దాన్ని మనం హ్యాండిల్ చేసినా చేయకపోయినా ఫైనల్ బ్లాక్లో ఉన్న స్టేట్మెంట్స్ అనేవి కంపల్సరీగా ఎగ్జిట్ అవుతాయి. మన ప్రోగ్రాంలో మనకి ఏవైతే కంపల్సరీగా కొన్ని స్టేట్మెంట్స్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవ్వాలనుకుంటున్నామో ఆ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ మనం ఫైనల్ బ్లాక్లో రాస్తాం. అదే ట్రై బ్లాక్లో ఏంటి అంటే ఏ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ అయితే ఎక్సెప్షన్ అవడానికి కారణం అవుతాయో అలాగే ఏ స్టేట్మెంట్స్కి ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ అనేది ఆ రన్ టైం ఎర్రర్ వచ్చిన స్టేట్మెంట్ మీద డిపెండ్ అయ్యి ఉంటుందో అలాంటి స్టేట్మెంట్స్ ట్రై బ్లాక్లో రాస్తాం. అలాగే కమిట్ ద ఎక్సెప్ట్ బ్లాక్లో మనం ఏం రాస్తాం అంటే యూజర్ ఫ్రెండ్లీ మెసేజ్ రాస్తాం. As a try block, x equal to int of input of enter by x value and y equal to int of input of enter y value z equal to x by y print of z except zero division error. This is a named except block. Print second number cannot be 0. Finally block. Just I am trying to print one message. I am in finally. Again, real time, don't writing this type of statement. In real time, you are written like as a file closing statements, database connection closing statements, cloud connection closing statement. The type of statements were represented in finally block. Write this one. Completion. Observing very clearly, this finally block is executed always in our source code without any exception. First scenario, without any exception. In that case also, final block is executed. Normal by statement is executed. Second scenario, with exception can be handled. In that case also, finally block is executed. Normal by statement is executed. Next, third scenario, with exception cannot be handled. With exception cannot be handled. In that case also, finally block is executed. But normal by statement is not executed. Okay, which statement we want to execute it compulsory with exception is raised or not raised. Even though exception is raised, whether it is handled or not handled, the type of statements we are represented in finally block. Without any exception. With exception can be handled. With exception can be handled. Without any exception. Without any exception, or with exception cannot be handled. Or scenario with exception cannot be handled. Three scenarios.
Sir, I have a doubt here.
Yeah, tell me.
So that means whenever we write any program, so this finally block should be the last block, right?
Yeah, observing very clearly. Okay. Compulsory, we are follow the syntaxes. Without except, we can take directly try finally is valid. Now it is valid. Okay. That's why I'm clearly specify the scenarios. Okay. We are using this format. Scenario one, either this format or this format we are following. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But in real time, how it will be handled, sir? Let's say if there is a program and that
Okay,
program is going to.
in real time, the finally block always we are representing resource releasing statements. Already in the previous class, I'm explaining.
Hmm.
Like as a database connection closing, file connection closing, the closing statements always we can representing at the end of the program.
Okay, so
I am not at any, I am in finally block the type of statements. In real time, we are using resource releasing statements in the finally block. For
so that
suppose,
means
yeah,
that finally block is going to execute in the last, right? In real time.
yeah, here also last one is executed.
Okay.
Okay, in our try block, whether exception is raised or not raised, even the exception is raised, whether it is handled or not handled, final block is always executed.
Yeah, got it, sir. Thank you.
Completed. Okay, now I'm taking as observing very clearly try block, printer, I mean, outer try, inner try block, outer try block, again I'm taking as a try block, print, I mean, outer try, inner try, block, except print I am in outer try, inner except block, next one finally I am in outer try, inner finally block, except print I am in outer except block, outer except finally print I am in outer try, I am in outer try, inner try block, finally block, except block, outer except block, finally block, outer finally, outer finally. Now observing very clearly, first one I am trying to execute in this program. First control go to this try block. First this message is printed. I am in outer try block. Next one control go to this try block. Here there is no exception. First this statement is executed. Without any exception, control will go to this finally block. Don't executing except block. If any exception occur in our try block, then only except block is executed. Next one, this except block is not executed because in our outer try, there is no exception. Now control go to this finally, now this statement is executed. This statement is executed and finally this statement is executed. Except block is not executed because there is no exception. If any exception occur in our try block, then only except block is executed. Write this one. If it is possible, try inside try and accept inside try accept finally. At the same time, finally inside try accept block also possible. Completed. Only try blocks and the final blocks are executed. Okay. Okay, tomorrow also we have class. Next one more concept, trials. Python supporting trials also. Syntax. Compulsory the syntax we are following. Try statement 1, statement 2, up to so on statement n. Except is required. Statement 1. So on statement n. Else block. Statement 1. Statement n. This is the syntax. Try except else. Completed. Now observing very clear. Without any exception, in our try block, then only control will go to, without any exception in our try block, then only control will go to else block. Otherwise means exception will be occurred. Control will go to except block. Without any exception in our try block, then only control will go to else block. Otherwise, control will go to which block? Except block. Now observing very clearly. For suppose our try block successfully executed, then immediately control will go to else block, and else block logic is executed. In that situation, except block is not executed. Okay. Without any exception in our try block, then only control will go to else block. Otherwise, control will go to except block. This is the first scenario. For suppose, whenever control go to try block, here exception will be occurred. Whenever exception will be occurred, then immediately to identify the exception, receiving that exception class object and forwarding to the except block. Now, whether except block is handle that exception, this block is executed. In that situation, the control don't go to the else block. Okay, we are writing try except else. At a time, it is executed either try except or try else. Don't execute in try except else at a time. Now observing very clearly, here I am written except block. Here I am taken as a zero division error. Print the second number cannot be zero. Else. Okay. Now observing very clearly, without any exception, control will go to else block and else block to print z value is printed. Now control will go to except block and except block message is executed.
So else is basically when we are right means when try block is executed correctly. So what is the use? We can directly put this in try block only.
Yeah, we can write the try block also. This is also one option in Python.
No, what is the significance? Means what is the where it is applied?
Okay, don't require any applications. This is also one possible in Python. In other language, there is no try else concept.
Okay, because when we compare it with if else and all those stuff, then from the main thing, if it is not correct, then else block will execute. But here,
Okay, that is a if else,
mhm.
but this is a try else. Okay, if else, if condition fail, control go to else block. But here try else means our try block successfully executed, then only control will go to else block.
So those statement can be written directly in the try block also. What is the use of else? That I want to means that I am try to understand.
Okay, it is not a mandatory. We can write the try else. Okay, this statement also we can implement the try block. But this is a one option in Python. We are implementing try else. In other language, there is no try else concept.
Okay, sir. I'll look into it. Yeah. Thank you. Many thanks.
Without any exception. Exception. Okay, by mistakenly, okay, expected, except or finally. That means after writing the try block, next immediately either finally block or except block is required. Don't writing else block. For suppose whenever we are using try except finally in our program, now this is also invalid. Okay, if in your program try finally except is there, we are follow the order first to try, next except, next finally. In our program there is an except block, simply we can write the try finally is enough. Now this is also invalid. Okay, the finally must be written the which one, which follow syntax. This is syntax we are following. Try except immediately else block. Okay, these are the built-in functions concept. Okay, next class tomorrow session we will starting user defined exceptions. After that one we will starting assertions, assert statement, where we are using assertions. Next one, how to implementing both user defined exceptions and built-in exceptions into single program. Already previous class we were discussing nested try. Next one, single try with multiple except blocks, named except blocks,